Professors will be your facilitators. There won't be any spoon feeding. You have to, eat on your own. So what I mean by that is the students have to proactively learn their subjects. They cannot expect the teachers to spoon feed everything. And what you learn in the classroom is only part of it. What you learn outside the classroom is much more. What you learn by interacting with your fellow students, professors, internet, library, and so many other sources. So it's very important that you keep your eyes and ears open and learn as much as possible. And this learning, which has already started, should never stop. The learning never stops. Every day you learn. And it's very important that you learn how to learn in VIT. As was pointed out, everyday preparation is very, very important. Don't postpone, procrastinate to last minute cramming. Doesn't help. And, as was pointed out, we are moving more and more towards project-based learning. So you don't have to do all this mugging up business. It doesn't take you anywhere. The lower order thinking doesn't take you anywhere. So we want to move into the higher order thinking. So you will see more and more of our question papers having hot questions. And of course, there have been a couple of stories told. So in my part, I'll also mention a small story. A man with a kind heart, he was watching a cocoon of a butterfly. There was a small hole in the cocoon, and then the young butterfly, which is yet to grow, it was trying to come out of the cocoon through that small hole. It tried hard and hard and hard, and after some time the man noticed that there was not much of movement. So he understood that the young butterfly has kind of given up, the larva actually. So with his kind heart, he took a scissors and cut open the cocoon so that it can be released. And the larva, the young butterfly, came out with a swollen body and a shriveled wing. He thought it will transform and start flying. No, it did not happen. It actually just crawled around the cocoon and died eventually. It did not fly. Because of his kind heart and haste, he did that. But the nature's intention is that it had to work really hard. It had to go around, work hard, so that the body, from the fluid in the body, moves to the wings, and the wing grows and the body shrinks, and then it can fly out of that small hole in that cocoon. You cannot change nature. The nature expects you to survive because you are the fittest. Right? You all know the Darwin's theory, right? It's not the biggest animal which survived. It's not the most powerful which survived. It's the fittest which survived. So here the fittest was, it had to go through the natural. See, struggle, don't think of it as a bad thing. Struggle is a good thing. You struggle now for this next 4 years and your life will be beautiful. You will be those butterflies whose wings would have grown and you can fly beautifully. So the point is, struggle hard now so you can enjoy later. And for most of you, placement is an end goal, and of course some of you want to do higher studies. For any of your goals, knowledge and grades are very important. And in VIT, both of them go hand in hand mostly, but of course we are working to improve that. So it's very important that you do not fail in any of the subjects, what we call as courses, because it reflects on your record permanently. See, in some of the conventional university, you might have noticed that, the arrears are not shown separately. It shows with a different date, it glossed over. But in VIT-like universities, every attempt will be shown in your consolidated grade sheet or any other grade sheet which you print out finally. So consider yourself as warned. So it's very important that you do not get any arrears or backlogs. As you know, when the going gets tougher, the tougher gets going. The placement has been outstanding in our institute, but you never know. The times might be bad when you graduate, but at that time the companies might insist that you should have never had an arrear, no history of arrear. So at that time there's no point in regretting. So you got to be prepared from day one. And the other point which I wanted to mention is the age of the students. It's like you are 16, 17, and by the time you graduate it will be like 20, 21. This is the age where people tend to get distracted. You should not get distracted. Don't get into any kind of bad habits. You stay focused on your studies. And as was pointed out earlier, VIT has plenty of opportunities. It's up to you to make use of them, and VIT has zero tolerance towards any indisciplinary activities. And moving on to parents, I've got a couple of suggestions for you. Be there for your kids. Take active interest in knowing their performance in the CATs, what we call as CAT, the continuous assessment test. Every semester we have 2 midterm exams, which we call as CAT 1 and CAT 2, and then the final exam is called term end exams. You got to take part actively. There used to be the whole old Hero Honda advertisement. You say, fill it, forget it, or something like that. Fill it, shut it, and forget it. Don't think that your part is over just by admitting the student in a great institution. You got to be there. You got to be in touch with your student and the proctor. We will also try to communicate through SMS and other means. And the other suggestion which I wanted to give to the parents is that, of course, the students are going to hate me for saying this. Don't give a lot of money to your kids. If you really love your kids, limit the budget. Limit the pocket money you give them. It really spoils them. Vellore is a small, inexpensive town. It's not like Bangalore or Bombay or Delhi. Okay, you go around, it's very hard to spend a lot of money in Vellore. So limit the pocket money you give. Of course, students, whatever money you get, you spend it responsibly. It's very important that you stay focused on your education and career, because these are 4 important years of your life which is going to determine which direction you are going to move on to and make a successful career in your life. So it's very important that you stay focused, and it's not just knowledge, you got to be creative also. So I want to conclude by Einstein's quote, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Thank you.